All right, let's talk about something that trips up almost everyone who studies the Quran. Those verses that sound so similar you can barely tell them apart. You know the ones. They're called al-mutashabihat. But don't worry, there's actually a really simple and honestly a pretty cool way to walk them down for good. Let's get into it.
You know that feeling, right? You're reciting, feeling confident, and then, bam, you hit a wall. You're thinking, wait, does this part say forever or not? Which surah am I even in? It's that split second of doubt where two verses just kind of merge into one in your head.
If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are in very good company. It's one of the biggest hurdles in memorization. But here's the good news. There's a secret. A system that scholars have used for centuries to make this whole problem just disappear.
And the solution is way simpler than you might think. It all comes down to these things called memory sentences. They're basically little mental shortcuts or mnemonic devices specifically designed to help you navigate the Quran.
That's right, secret codes. Each little sentence is like a key that unlocks the exact location of a specific verse. So instead of trying to memorize a long, boring list of surah names, you just have to remember one short, easy phrase. It's all about working smarter, not harder. Okay, let's see this in action. Our first rule is going to tackle a super common phrase, khalidina fiha, which means abiding therein. You see it a lot, but there's a tiny one-word difference that completely changes who and what it's talking about. And this difference is absolutely critical. When you see khalidina fiha all by itself, it's talking about paradise. But the moment the word abadan, meaning forever, is added on, it's always talking about the punishment of hellfire. One tiny word changes everything. So the paradise version, khalidina fiha, shows up in 8 places in the Quran. Now, how in the world are you supposed to remember all 8 of those without your brain just short-circuiting? Well, you don't. You just remember this one sentence. I know, it might look a little random, but every single word in this poetic little phrase is a signpost that points you to the exact surah you're looking for. This is our first secret code. So let's crack this code. Check out how cool this is. The word Tawbat points you straight to Surah At-Tawbah. Nisa leads you to Surah An-Nisa. Al-Ma'idah is literally right there in the sentence for Surah Al-Ma'idah. Then Bana guides you to Al-Bayina, Khubnu to At-Taghabun, and Talaqihi to At-Talaq. And just like that, one little sentence has locked in 6 different surahs for you. Okay, cool. So what about the other version? The one with Abadan that refers to hellfire? Well, this one's even easier, way easier. It only appears in 3 places in the entire Quran, just 3. And for those 3, we get an even shorter secret code. The sentence is just, Nisa'ul jinni ahzabuhu. 3 words to remember 3 surahs. It's incredibly elegant. And the breakdown is just as simple. Nisa, well, that's obviously for Surah An-Nisa. Al-Jinn takes you right to Surah Al-Jinn, and Ahzabuhu lines up perfectly with Surah Al-Ahzab. Boom! Simple, clean, and you're never going to forget it. Are you starting to see how this works? It's a total game changer. This isn't about cramming your brain with more information. It's about creating a mental map, giving yourself a set of keys to unlock what you already know. This little shift makes a massive difference for your confidence. All right, let's do another one. This phrase is wala in sa'altahum, meaning and if you asked them. Now this one shows up in 4 different surahs. And just like before, there's one tiny little twist that helps you tell one of them apart from all the rest. So you'll find this phrase in Surah Al-Ankabut, Luqman, Az-Zumar, and Az-Zukhruf. Now trying to remember which one is which when you're in the middle of reciting, yeah, that can be tough. But again, there's a very simple rule that just cuts right through all that confusion. Here's the secret. 3 of these verses are basically identical. The ones you find in Luqman, Az-Zumar, and Az-Zukhruf all follow the exact same script. So we don't need to worry about them. All we have to do is find the one exception, the one special case. And here it is. On the left, that's the standard phrase. But look over on the right at the verse from Surah Al-Ankabut. You see that extra bit? وَسَخَّرَ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ, which means, and subjected the sun and the moon. That's it. That's our clue. It's the only one of the 4 that has this detail. So the rule is just this simple. When you get to this verse, you just ask yourself one question. Does it mention the sun and the moon? If the answer is yes, you know without a doubt that you're in Surah Al-Ankabut, the spider. I like to imagine the spider's web is so big it catches the sun and the moon. That's the whole hack. It's that easy. So why do these little memory hacks matter so much? It's really more than just a party trick for memorization.
It helps you see that these similar verses, the mutashabihat, they aren't some kind of mistake. They're a feature. They're put there on purpose to make us pause, to make us think, and to engage with the Quran on a much, much deeper level.
Think about it. When you stop worrying about getting the words wrong, your confidence skyrockets. You're not so stressed about the wording, which frees up your mind to actually focus on the meaning, on the message. It turns what used to be a frustrating chore into a kind of fun puzzle, which makes your whole relationship with the Quran more joyful and a lot less stressful. Now look, we've only just scratched the surface with 2 examples. The Quran is full of these beautiful, intricate patterns. So now I'm going to turn it over to you. What other similar verses, what other mutashabihat have you struggled with? Drop them in the comments below. Because turning these little challenges into simple, memorable rules is the real key to unlocking a deeper connection with the Word of God.